Sheikh Hamdan's private life just took a turn no one expected, and this time it wasn't just hidden behind palace walls. His second wife, Hadia Zen, made a bold move that left not only the Al Maktoum family stunned, but the entire world watching closely. After months of speculation, silent rumors, and family tension, Hadia finally traveled to London, but not for a royal event. This was personal. It was supposed to be a chance for reconciliation, but what happened behind closed doors has sparked even more questions. And if that wasn't enough, the prince himself is now battling a health crisis that even his doctors didn't see coming. What really happened between Sheikh Hamdan and his second wife? Why did she reject him? And how did it push him to the edge, both emotionally and physically? Let's break it all down. It all started quietly. No official press release, no royal announcements. But insiders close to the family revealed that on October 5th, Hadia Zen, Sheikh Hamdan's second wife, boarded a flight to London. Her purpose? To visit her children, who have been living there away from the spotlight. But what made this trip different was who else was waiting for her. Sheikh Hamdan's sister, Sheikha bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, was already in London. And she wasn't there for shopping or sightseeing. She had one mission: to speak with Hadia face to face. And the place they chose for this delicate conversation wasn't random. The meeting happened at the Carlton Hotel, a luxury spot deeply connected to the Al Maktoum family. It's well known that Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai and father of both Sheikh Hamdan and Sheikha, holds shares in that very hotel. It's where the family often vacations in private, away from curious eyes. But this time, the hotel wasn't hosting a celebration. It became the backdrop for a family intervention that would set the internet on fire. For weeks, whispers inside Dubai's royal circles hinted at tension between Sheikh Hamdan and his second wife, Hadia Zen. But no one expected what came next. During their private meeting at London's Carlton Hotel, Sheikh Hamdan's sister and one of the most respected women in the Al Maktoum family, wasted no time addressing the elephant in the room. She urged Hadia to return to Dubai, not just to see her children, but to return to the palace itself. The message was clear. The family wanted unity. They wanted Hadia back under the same roof as Sheikh Hamdan, rebuilding the image of togetherness that the world expected. But Hadia's response stunned everyone. Calmly, yet firmly, she refused. Sources close to the family say Hadia opened up about the emotional strain she's been carrying. She spoke of the pain she feels seeing her husband with another woman, another wife. The heartbreak wasn't hidden. It was written all over her face. And despite pressure from one of the most powerful families in the world, she stood her ground. Still, she wasn't ready to cut ties completely. Out of love for her children and respect for the Al Maktoum family, she promised to stay connected. But when it came to returning to the palace, her answer was final. And the message to Sheikh Hamdan couldn't have been clearer. But it wasn't just Hadia's words that left everyone talking. It was how she showed up. From the moment she arrived at the Carlton Hotel, it was clear this wasn't going to be a warm reunion. Hadia Zen, once known for her graceful presence at royal events, appeared completely concealed, wrapped head to toe in a black hijab and burqa. Not even her eyes were visible. For those close to the Al Maktoum family, this wasn't just a personal choice. It was a statement, a silent, undeniable message that she was creating distance, not just physically but emotionally. Even Sheikh Hamdan, known for his calm composure, wasn't prepared for this. Sources say he had hoped to see her face, to read her expression, maybe even find a small sign that there was still hope. But with every part of her hidden from view, that hope quickly faded. The royal guards, hotel staff, even the Al Maktoum family insiders, all left wondering, has Hadia completely shut the door on her marriage? Was this her way of reclaiming control, showing the world that she's no longer playing by royal rules? Speculation spread like wildfire. And as Hadia walked away that day, hidden beneath layers of black fabric, it wasn't just her face that remained a mystery, it was her future with Sheikh Hamdan. For a man who's mastered the art of keeping his personal life hidden, Sheikh Hamdan's reaction to Hadia's visit was surprisingly public and surprisingly emotional. Just one day after the tense London meeting, Sheikh Hamdan posted something on Instagram that sent his millions of followers into a frenzy, a love poem. But this wasn't your typical romantic gesture. Those who understand Arabic poetry and those who followed the Sheikh closely knew exactly what he was doing. The words spoke of longing, heartbreak, and betrayal. It wasn't direct, it never is with Sheikh Hamdan. But the meaning between the lines couldn't be missed. The poem was clearly aimed at one person, Hadia Zen. For years, their relationship played out behind palace walls, the media only catching glimpses. But now, the cracks were starting to show, and the Crown Prince wasn't hiding his feelings anymore. What made the post even more telling was its timing. Just hours after their failed attempt at reconciliation, just after Hadia walked away, Sheikh Hamdan made it clear to the world he was hurting, but what no one expected was how quickly his heartbreak would take a dangerous turn, not just emotionally but physically. While the world was busy speculating about Sheikh Hamdan's broken heart, something far more serious was quietly unfolding behind palace doors, a health crisis no one saw coming. Sources close to the Al Maktoum family revealed that in the days following his emotional Instagram post, Sheikh Hamdan's physical condition took a sudden turn for the worse. At first it was just fatigue and headaches, symptoms easy to dismiss, especially for someone carrying the weight of royal responsibilities. But when his fever spiked and his energy levels crashed, his private medical team grew concerned. Blood tests were ordered, and the results? Alarming. Doctors discovered that Sheikh Hamdan's blood count had dropped significantly. Worse yet, he was battling a blood infection, one that could easily spiral into something life-threatening if left untreated. But here's the thing. Sheikh Hamdan has never been one to sit still. Known for his adventurous spirit and refusal to slow down, he brushed off medical advice, determined to keep up appearances and fulfill his duties. It wasn't until his voice changed, weak, hoarse, almost unrecognizable, that those around him realized just how serious things had become. His inner circle was rattled, his family was worried, and fans around the world were left asking, was the stress of his failing marriage finally taking its toll? For weeks, rumors about Sheikh Hamdan's health had been swirling, but it wasn't until a short, unexpected video clip surfaced online that fans finally saw the truth for themselves, and it was more concerning than anyone expected. In the video, Sheikh Hamdan is seen sitting quietly, his usually confident voice replaced by something faint and strained. His eyes, often full of energy, looked tired, almost distant. But it wasn't just his appearance that set social media ablaze. It was what he said. Leaning towards the camera, he asked with a half smile, "What do you want from me, It was meant to be playful, a glimpse of the charming, rebellious side that's made him so popular worldwide. But the exhaustion in his tone was impossible to hide. Before he could say more, a voice from off-camera interrupted. It was his doctor, urging him to listen, to rest, to finally take his health seriously. For many fans, that small interaction spoke volumes. The Crown Prince of Dubai, admired for his strength and adventurous lifestyle, was showing cracks, real human vulnerability that no PR team could hide. The video went viral within hours, flooding comment sections with messages of concern. Some blamed the stress of his crumbling marriage, others pointed to the relentless pressure of royal life. One thing was clear, behind the palace walls, Sheikh Hamdan was fighting battles no one truly understood. Sheikh Hamdan's story is far from over, and the recent events show just how complex life behind the palace walls can be. A second wife who refuses to return, a family trying to hold it together, and a prince facing a health crisis that's exposing his most vulnerable side. It's a reminder that even those born into privilege aren't immune to heartbreak, struggle, and tough choices. What happens next could reshape not just Sheikh Hamdan's personal life, but the future of the entire Al Maktoum family. Will Hadia return one day? Can the family find a way to heal? And how will Sheikh Hamdan bounce back from this physical and emotional challenge? One thing's for sure, this story is still unfolding, and every update is more surprising than the last. If you want to stay ahead of the latest news and hear the full translation of Sheikh Hamdan's poem, which many believe reveals his true feelings, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones we don't see at first glance. Dubai's royal family just grew once again, but this time it wasn't the lavish palace announcement or a royal parade that caught the world's eye. It was a quiet photo, a soft, intimate moment between a father and his newborn daughter. No crown, no spectacle, just Sheikh Hamdan, known to millions as Fazza, gazing down at his baby girl, cradling her in silence. He didn't need to say much. One image, one word, Hind. That's all it took. And while the world reacted with awe, admiration, and endless congratulations, some couldn't help but notice something else. A pattern, a message, a deeper meaning behind the names, the timing, even the quiet way he shared the moment. Because when a future king speaks through symbols instead of speeches and people start to listen closely, when Sheikh Hamdan posted the photo of his newborn daughter, the internet didn't just pause, it softened. No filters, no press release, just a tender shot of the crown prince holding his baby girl close, her tiny figure wrapped in a snow-white blanket, matching her hat, resting peacefully in his arms. The image was quiet, but it hit loud. Within minutes, it spread like wildfire across social media. Thousands of fans shared it, resharing with captions like Fazza the family man and royalty meets fatherhood. Comments poured in, praising his humility, his love, and the simplicity of the moment. But the most repeated phrase of all, one word, Hind. That's the name Hamdan revealed alongside the photo. Short, elegant, powerful. But here's the thing, it wasn't chosen at random. In the world of royalty, names carry weight, history, and purpose. And Hind was no exception. But what exactly does the name mean? And why might Hamdan have chosen it now? In Arabic, Hind isn't just a name, it's a legacy. It means lady or noble woman, a title once carried by women of strong character and royal bloodlines. Historically, the name has echoed through ancient Arabian tribes, poetry, and even early Islamic history, often linked with courage, grace, and power. It's a name you give when you want the world to know this child was born to stand tall, but there's another layer. Hind can also reference someone from India or someone with deep cross-cultural roots. It's subtle but symbolic, especially when chosen by someone like Sheikh Hamdan, a man who straddles tradition and modernity with every public move he makes. Some believe the name is a poetic choice, fitting for someone like Fazza. After all, he's not just a royal, he's a writer, a storyteller, and a soul who expresses himself through verse. In his poems, women are often metaphors for elegance, strength, and mystery. Naming his daughter Hind could be his way of turning her into living poetry. But this isn't the first time he's woven meaning into a name. Before Hind, there were two others, Sheikha and Rashid. Back in 2021, Sheikh Hamdan surprised the world once again with a simple post, a photo of him seated in traditional Emirati dress, holding a baby in each arm. One girl, one boy, Sheikha and Rashid. No grand captions, just timeless imagery and quiet symbolism, but those names weren't random either. Sheikha honors his mother, Her Highness Sheikha Hind bint Maktoum, one of the most respected women in the royal family. A quiet force behind the scenes, she's known for her grace, strength, and influence. Naming his daughter after her wasn't just a tribute, it was a statement, a way of carrying her legacy forward. And Rashid, that one runs even deeper. It's the name of Hamdan's late grandfather, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the former ruler of Dubai and a visionary who laid the foundation for the modern city we know today. That portrait in the background of the photo, it wasn't just decoration, it was a reminder of the past, a symbol that Hamdan's children are not just family, they're descendants of a dynasty. These weren't baby announcements, they were chess moves. But if the twins honored the past, his next child seemed to hint at something else entirely, the future. For someone as public as Sheikh Hamdan, his wife remains one of the most mysterious figures in Dubai's royal family. Sheikha bint Saeed bin Thani Al Maktoum, his cousin by lineage and partner by choice, married Hamdan in May 2019. But unlike many royal weddings that dominate headlines for weeks, theirs unfolded with near silence. No televised ceremony, no extravagant media blitz. Just quiet elegance, a move that felt deliberate. To this day, very few photos of Sheikha circulate online. There are no interviews, no speeches, no carefully curated Instagram posts, and yet her presence is undeniable. She's been with Hamdan through the birth of all 4 children, each child announced in his own subtle, symbolic way. Insiders say she embodies everything the royal family values: discretion, loyalty, and strength away from the spotlight. In a world obsessed with visibility, Sheikha remains a mystery, and perhaps that's her power. Some believe this privacy isn't accidental, that Hamdan, a man who lives in the eye of a global audience, shields her from the noise because she represents the center of his world, the quiet force behind the scenes. And together they're not just building a family, they're shaping a legacy, one name at a time. In February 2023, the royal family quietly expanded once again, this time with the birth of a boy named Mohammed bin Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum. And while the world celebrated the arrival of Sheikh Hamdan's 3rd child, royal watchers were asking a very different question. Was this the birth of Dubai's future ruler? The name Mohammed wasn't just poetic, it was strategic. It mirrors that of his grandfather, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the current ruler of Dubai. And naming a son directly after him, that's a powerful gesture. One that signals more than just respect. It hints at succession, legacy, and intention. Unlike the twins, whose names honored lineage, this name turned eyes forward, toward power, toward potential. Could Mohammed bin Hamdan become the next crown prince of Dubai? It's not official, and no announcements have been made. But in Gulf monarchies, these signs matter. Birth order, names, and timing often speak louder than public statements. And in 2023, the timing was critical because another emirate had just made a move of its own. While Dubai expanded its royal bloodline, Abu Dhabi reshuffled its own, and the implications were massive. While Dubai was quietly welcoming baby Mohammed, Abu Dhabi was making headlines for an entirely different reason, a power move that shocked the region. In May 2023, Emir Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, better known as MBZ, the president of the UAE, issued a royal decree that set social media on fire. He officially named his eldest son, Sheikh Khalid, as the crown prince of Abu Dhabi. It was sudden, it was bold, and for many it felt like the quiet end of a guessing game that had gone on for years. Up until then, Khalid had kept a low profile. He wasn't making speeches or attending galas, but behind the scenes, he was rising fast, serving in Abu Dhabi's executive office, overseeing strategic projects, and eventually becoming chairman of ADNOC, the national oil company and economic engine of the emirate. That appointment wasn't just about oil, it was about consolidation, control. MBZ was putting his son in charge of the crown jewel of the UAE's economy, and then giving him the actual crown. And that raised a question no one could ignore. With Abu Dhabi locking in its next ruler, what was Dubai planning? Because while the 2 emirates operate as part of one nation, they also move like chess masters on opposite sides of the board, respectful, aligned, but always watching. And as Abu Dhabi made its move in public, Dubai's next step seemed hidden in plain sight in the arms of Sheikh Hamdan. To the world, Sheikh Hamdan is many things: crown prince, adrenaline junkie, poet, philanthropist. But to those paying closer attention, he's something even more important: the architect of Dubai's future identity. While his social media shows glimpses of skydiving, horseback riding, and tender moments with his children, there's a quiet strategy in the way he presents himself. Hamdan isn't just building a family, he's building trust with the youth, with the nation, with the world. He writes poetry under the name Fazza, but those verses often speak to leadership, heritage, love, and sacrifice. His words may be romantic, but his message is calculated. He's aligning himself with values that go beyond politics: character, humility, strength. And the way he shares his family isn't just emotional, it's symbolic. Each post, each name, each moment he chooses to reveal seems designed to balance the weight of tradition with the freshness of change. He's not loud, he doesn't make declarations, but his silence is intentional. In many ways, he's shaping the image of a new kind of royal, one who rules with presence, not just power. But the real question isn't just about who Sheikh Hamdan is today, it's about who he's quietly preparing for tomorrow. In a region known for grandeur, Sheikh Hamdan's power lies in his restraint. He doesn't make headlines with speeches, he doesn't chase attention. Instead, he lets his life speak for itself, one meaningful post at a time. A daughter named Hind, a son named after a ruler, a wife hidden from the spotlight, yet central to it all. This isn't just a family tree, it's a blueprint. While other leaders announce, Hamdan hints. While others move in public, he builds in silence. And maybe that's the point. In a world that's louder than ever, the future ruler of Dubai might not be the one who shouts the hardest, but the one who listens the most, acts with intention, and lets symbols do the talking. So the next time Fazza shares a quiet moment with his children, look closer, because behind every smile, every name, every photo, there's a story, a strategy, and perhaps a glimpse of the next generation of leadership already in motion.